How's it going, everyone? We gotta go over some updates of one of my most anticipated games of 2026. Honestly, as far as Game Awards nominations, I was kind of salty that Phantom Blade Zero wasn't nominated for most anticipated game, but guess what? It's one of my most anticipated games, and it's coming out next year. We have the game dated, maybe a little bit later than people would have hoped for, but guess what? You can look up the video that I did back at the PlayStation Showcase of 2023 when that happened, and I had my reservations on whether or not this game was actually gonna come out. That trailer, I didn't know the validity and the authenticity of it. You gotta be a little bit skeptical when it comes to gaming these days, but man, as they've rolled out more gameplay, I've gotten more and more excited for it. It's not a Souls-like game, which has me even more excited, and we have a date and some new details about the game. We'll go over all of that. But Phantom Blade Zero will be officially launching on September the 9th, 2026. A new 4-minute gameplay trailer was released at the Game Awards, and man, does it showcase that fast-paced, absolutely visceral gameplay that I want more of out of gaming. Look, I know some people saw the Lords of the Fallen 2 trailer and they were like, hey, that looks pretty good as well, and I think that game looks decent, but I know it's gonna be a lot of dodge rolling and whatnot. Phantom Blade Zero is the kind of action game that is so much more up my alley, and we've seen a lot of these studios just come out with new IPs and absolutely crush it, from Stellar Blade, Black Myth Wukong, and now Phantom Blade Zero might be the 2026 version of that, where a new IP comes swinging from a brand new studio and they do a banger of a job. If you look at the numbers this game is pulling on social media, you can already see there's a level of hype and interest in the game. I believe 3 million views across its YouTube uploads with the trailers. That's remarkable, and the game itself, I just think, looks incredible. Again, if you go back to the video I did in 2023 with the PlayStation Showcase, and I don't think I was wrong in feeling this way, you have to be a little bit skeptical when it comes to these games getting revealed, and you just look at them and you're like, man, on the surface, these games look good. Are they actually ever going to come out, and are they going to end up being as good as we're seeing in the initial debut? Just look at what's happened with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Remake, Star Wars Eclipse, and I know, Perfect Dark, Fable, these games that just get revealed and they're benched for years and years and you don't hear anything about them. We've been burned so many times that at this point, and I think a lot of other people feel the same way, I definitely see a lot of that when it comes to Fate of the Old Republic as well. It's just hard to trust any of these trailers, and you know, you're wondering whether or not these games are going to come out and whether or not they're going to come out in your lifetime. I honestly thought Phantom Blade Zero was going to end up being a 2027 game, but 2026, end of 2026, hey, that's beating my expectations, and I will take that L all day. If we can get, I'll take all the L's. If a KOTOR remake comes out and it turns out to be great and it comes out next year, I'll take the L on that. I'll take the L on Fable being good. I want all of these games to come out and be good. It's just we've been burned so many times that it's hard to be excited. But with Phantom Blade Zero, man, they've revealed that gameplay, I feel like, at a steady rate that has sold me more and more on the game. And best of all, whenever you hear about the game, and S-Game is reiterating that it's not a Souls-like game, and I feel like that is one of the core promotional aspects of the game, reiterating that it's not a Souls-like game. It does my heart so joy. Look, I play the first Berserker Kazans, I'll play the Lies of P, I'll play all the From Software games, but when I hear things about like Game Freak doing a Souls-like title, when I hear things about the Ghost Runner developers doing a Souls-like title, I'm like, alright there, buddy, we got enough Souls-like games. I want more of that character-driven action title that makes me feel like a badass. And guess what? Phantom Blade Zero is a game that you can play on the harder difficulties, and you can have an incredibly challenging experience, but if you want to go through it more easy, you can play it on normal. You can even tone down the difficulty. I'm all about that, and love to hear about that. It is a PlayStation 5 console exclusive for 12 months. I'm sure that, I don't know if there's a console exclusivity deal. I would imagine, because whenever you see the exclusive for 12 months, that sounds like a deal was put in place. I'm sure the deal was made whenever Sony thought that, hey, we should get these console exclusives and have these games exclusive to our console and take them away from Xbox. At this stage of the game, do we really need to take games away from Xbox? You know, I personally don't think so. Just look at, you know, Xbox getting outsold by the Kinect Cube device at Black Friday. Again, there's some layers to that story. Xbox wasn't really being aggressive with their Black Friday offerings, but nonetheless, Xbox is pretty much a dead platform, or as close to dead head, as you can imagine. Do we really gotta take games away from the people that do play on Xbox? So I don't know. I'm not really about these exclusivities anymore. I don't think Sony needs them from third parties. If you want to, your in-house first-party games, by all means, make them exclusive. I don't care about that. But getting the exclusivity deals with games like Phantom Blade Zero, and I'm sure this deal was signed in like 2022 or 2023. Different ball game back then, although PS5 was even far ahead then. I'm just not crazy about the third-party exclusivity deals anymore. Y'all won the game. Y'all won the game, and I don't think Xbox is coming back. So, it is what it is. The game is noted to be a kung fu punk title inspired by the golden age of Hong Kong action films. The world of Phantom Blade Zero blends fierce martial arts with machinery, amplifying an exhilarating clash of steel on steel. Ancient codes meet iron and smoke. Tradition thrums to a modern beat. A new style is forged in the melding of mediums. This is Kung Fu Punk, built in Unreal Engine 5, and through the use of the state-of-the-art motion capture, Phantom Blade Zero brings together legendary fight choreography from Hong Kong's golden age of martial arts and cinema. Every strike and stance draws from authentic martial arts techniques captured with the precision of film, and it's reborn through modern game design as well. And while this is a character-driven action game, they've been pretty open about the fact that it is going to have a sizable amount of content as well. And one element I am interested about, this is a self-published game. S-Game is developing, S-Game is publishing it. I kind of feel like it's not going to have a physical release right off the bat. I feel like it's going to end up being a Black Myth Wukong situation where there might be a publishing firm that comes out and then publishes the physical copies of the game months after the fact, which is a little bit of a bummer. Phantom Blade Zero, I feel like, is a game that a lot of people would want a physical copy of, but, thumbs to breaks, it's probably going to be a $70 game. I fully expect that, but it would be nice for there to be a physical copy. And by the way, the game is expected to offer around 30 hours of content with additional content like side quests and endgame activities, adding even more content. For an action game like this, having that level of content is a lot. I get that, Souls-like games have a lot of content, but a lot of titles like Phantom Blade Zero, the style of game that it is, like, I'm not expecting Onimusha Way of the Sword to have 40 hours of content, and I don't think that's reasonable, but at the same time, I get that the expectations from the consumers are different these days, and $70 for a game that you could complete in 12 to 15 hours, probably. I could understand why developers and publishers would be hesitant in releasing a game like that, although I love Ninja Gaiden 4, and that game was 15 hours, but I'm in a very unique position where, playing games, making these content, not everybody's in that position, and when you're being selective about spending $70 on a game, Phantom Blade Zero having 30 to 40 hours of content, I think, will definitely entice people on buying it. But the game will be available on PC as well, day 1, September the 9th, and when you look at that 2026 calendar come into shape, everybody wants to talk about 2025 being insane for gaming, and I think it was a great year. Guys, can we talk about 2026 for a second? Wolverine, Sorrows, Phantom Blade Zero, Lego Batman. Dude, there's a lot. Forza Horizon 6, there's a lot of good games and marquee titles, and that's not including the Nintendo stuff. I feel like 2026 has the potential to be way better than 2025, and then Gears of War E-Day, Halo, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming next year, and I think next year might be one of the bigger years of game releases, and it feels like we're hitting the stride for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series in terms of marquee games, and I know Xbox Series is kind of fumbling, but when you talk about PlayStation 6 potentially in 2027, man, I feel like we're finally getting rolling in 2026 with a lot of these titles, but we'll see what happens with that. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know your anticipation level for Phantom Blade Zero, dropping September the 9th, a little bit later than I think some people would have hoped, but guess what? The first half of 2026 is already stacked. Now we're getting the second half in place with Phantom Blade Zero, Wolverine, and, fingers crossed GTA 6 comes out late next year as well. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.